Hi. Okay, let's see if the sound is working. Oh, is the sound working, everyone? Okay, sounds good. Okay, sound's working. Oh my gosh. I'm Natasha Tina Liu. I'm super excited to be kicking this event off. Welcome to Rock Against Hate. This is a special evening of Asian American arts and activism to raise money and awareness for Stop AAPI Hate. Tonight's event is being presented by the Slants Foundation, ASAM News, AsianAmericanMovies.com, and of course, Stop AAPI Hate. Tonight, we are also recognizing the start of May as the 44th Asian Pacific American Heritage Month. It was originally signed by President Jimmy Carter in 1978 to recognize the contributions and influence of Asian Americans and Pacific Islander Americans to the history, culture, and achievements of the United States. However, most people don't know that there were multiple attempts to commemorate Asian American history and that the first couple of resolutions failed to pass. This just goes to show how persistence is really important in all areas, especially if we want to change the existing culture. And that's why Rock Against Hate returns for another year. We're still seeing attacks on our community, and we still need to take action. We need to persist. So we are celebrating our community by featuring incredible talent and voices from across the country. As you enjoy the entertainment and the inspirational messages, I hope you'll take a moment to also visit theslants.org/rockagainst-hate to learn how you can use your voice to support this important cause. If you'd like to send encouraging messages or submit questions to our performers, you can do so by leaving comments directly on the Facebook and the YouTube live stream. For all of those watching on Facebook, take a moment to share this video on your feed and help others discover the event and let them know that you too want to stand in solidarity with our community. So we're gonna kick things off with Cometa. They're from Milford, Connecticut, and they're a pop punk band. Cometa has shared the stage with New Found Glory, Rise Against, and Sevendust. Their electrifying live show has been featured on the Vans Warped Tour. Fronted by Filipino-American twin brothers, their songs foster positivity, diversity, and never giving up on your dreams. They've won several Battle of the Bands, and they were also nominated for Best Hard Rock at the New England Music Awards. Fancy, fancy. And they're also currently recording their next EP and planning tour dates for 2022 and 2023. Please give it up for Cometa.
Yo, what's up, everybody? All right, let me
turn this down so I don't echo. Okay, cool. Thanks, Natasha. Yeah, we are Cometa. We're a pop punk band. We're happy to be here for a great cause. We're gonna kick off our set with a cover of John Lennon's Imagine. Hope you like it. And here we go. Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us, above's only sky. Oh, imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there's no country. It's hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for. No religion too. Oh, imagine all the people living life in peace. Yoo-hoo. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will be as one. Imagine no possession. I wonder if you can. No need for greed or hunger. A brotherhood of man. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. Yoo-hoo. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will be as one.
Oh my gosh! Love that! That is one of my favorite Beatles songs. Wonderful, wonderful job. We'd love to learn a bit more about each of you. Could you all introduce yourselves and how you got started with the band?
Totally. My name's Grant. I sing and play lead.
My
name's Grant. I play and sing.
I sing and play lead guitar in the band, and this is my twin brother Gareth right here.
I'm Gareth. I sing backup vocals and play rhythm guitar.
And Josh.
I'm Josh.
Hey, and I'm Wes, and I play drums and some vocals.
Yeah, and then how we got started. So me and Gareth are twins. So we actually met in our mom's uterus, and from there, we grew up. We just kind of in high school actually we got into the pop punk scene, and we listened to bands like Blink-182, Sum 41, and we just loved it so much that we played in our own bands. And then in college, we decided to form our own band called Cometa, which is where we found Wes on Facebook Messenger, and then we found Josh on Craigslist, nothing creepy at all. And yeah, that's how we got our start.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. From the uterus and Craigslist and Facebook Messenger. Like, what better way? So, we're here tonight for a very important cause to support the work of Stop AAPI Hate and other organizations that are fighting against racism. Out of curiosity, how have these causes resonated with you as artists?
Yeah, so
we're Filipino American, me and my twin brother. So like we were heartbroken to really see all the different attacks on Asians. And there's this one video resonates with me. It was of a Filipino woman attacked in New York City in broad daylight in front of witnesses, and no one stopped to help her. And I just immediately thought of my mom and my aunts and my cousins. And there's a stat that a majority of anti-Asian attacks were on women, and that it's unacceptable. So that's why we're here. We think it's so important to stop AAPI hate. So if you're watching right now, please go to stopaapihate.com. There's I'm sure Joe's gonna throw the link in there for you. Yeah, it's just a cause that it hits close to home. So we're here for that.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's like disheartening that this keeps happening in our communities, and yeah, we need to enact change. You're currently working on a new EP and also touring. Could you tell us more about that?
Yep. So yeah, we're recording our next EP on our own. It's dropping later this year, and we're gonna be putting out some new songs in the next coming weeks. A new original song in June. So definitely check us out on YouTube and Spotify. Follow us there because we got a lot of cool music for you, and we're always booking new shows. So follow us on those sites, and we'll let you guys know when we're playing in your area.
Awesome. Go check them out, and we would also love to hear some more. Do you all want to play another song?
So we know that the best way to fight hate is with love. So we're gonna end our set with a love song that we wrote. And yeah, thank you guys so much. We're Cometa. Check us out at Cometa Music on all platforms. It's a pleasure being here. All right, this song's called Week 2.
Feel like writing apologies for the things that always bothered me. I'm not blaming you when I'm away from home. Repeating thoughts that keep me up at night. Words that didn't come out right. There's something missing here when we talk on the phone. That's always what you least expect. Is something cell phone towers can't connect. Although it hurts sometimes, I'll never be untrue. And if there's one thing I could do, I'd say to ease the pain of being miles away. Tap a central line to heal what's ailing you. But now I'm gone. Let's see those hearts in the chat, y'all. We can see you. In search of ways to push the hands of time. Nights when your heart's next to mine. Oh, I can help you up even if I'm not there. The sound of voice gets sweeter every day. Voice just a call away. A simple message to remind me that you care. Could be in London, Paris, St. Andrews, and use the people when abroad as signal ballad beating halfway across Earth. I hope with summer nights wet dreaming of the cheapest Valentine I could think of, I sent a package to remind you in it hurts. What's up, Cindy? Yeah, it's always what you least expect. Something cell phone towers can't connect. Though it hurts sometimes, I'll never be untrue. And if there's one thing I could do, I said to eat the pain of being miles away. Tap a central line to heal what's ailing you. Now I'm gone. Love you guys. Woo!
Guys, thank you so much. Go to stopaaphate.com. Support, act now, y'all.
Yes, go to stopaaphate.com and support. Okay, so our next act is Darrow. Hailing from Brooklyn, New York, Asian American artist Darrow is fusing together the strongest and catchiest elements of early 2000s emo and pop punk to form his own hybrid subgenre of alternative anthems. Darrow had to overcome unbelievable obstacles to get to where he is today. After releasing his debut EP Nostalgia in 2017, the then 24-year-old musician was diagnosed with a brain tumor that resulted in surgery and rehabilitation that saw him relearning to speak and sing. Despite these hardships, Darrow persevered and utilized his recovery as a means of inspiration to release his debut full-length album, Song of Recovery, in November 2020. His debut garnered critical acclaim on various charts, including ranking at number 11 on the iTunes Rock Albums chart, and his music has also been featured in Billboard, Alternative Press, and more. Please welcome Darrow to the Rock Against Hate stage.
Hello. Can everybody hear me? Okay. This is my band. My name is Darrow, and we're going to play a song for you. It's called Signing Out. A bunch of shit I don't think should exist. Am I insane or do these people not know what it is? I think it's time to shut my eyes and try to say it now. I don't know if it ends here. I hope I wind up somewhere. Just say goodbye in a prayer. Fucking compare. My heart is drumming. I'll suffocate, I need air, but I can't get none here. It's just my luck, 'cause I swear time is out here. Signing out here. How's everyone doing tonight? A mother's muted crying, and the nurse's hand trying to calm her down. But you know I can't. I'm out of touch, so I text goodbye. But then they think it's too much, and they reply good night. I guess it's time to stop this whining, 'cause I can't control these circumstances and the chance that I might have a soul. You always think that you're a better person than you've been. This time I know what you're meant, what you're so. I don't know if it ends here. I hope I wind up somewhere. Just say goodbye goodbye in the prayer fucking no, and my heart is drumming. I'll suffocate, I need air, but I can't get any here. It's just my luck, cause I swear time is out here, signing out here. And I cannot take another breathless day. And I cannot say if I will smell the daisies outside in. Give it up for my guitar players. I don't know if it ends here. I hope I wind up somewhere. Just say goodbye in the prayer fucking numb, and my heart is drumming. I'll suffocate, I need air, but I can't get any here. It's just my luck, cause I swear time is out here, signing out here. I don't know if it ends here. I hope I wind up somewhere. Just say goodbye in the prayer fucking numb, and my heart is drumming. I'll suffocate, I need it, but I can't get any here. It's just my luck, cause I swear time is out here, signing out here. Thank you, everybody.
Yes! Darrow, you have such an inspiring story about recovery that folks should definitely check out, but I really want to focus on your journey over the past couple of years. Recently, you've done all kinds of amazing things, from charting on iTunes and being featured in magazines like Alternative Press to releasing numerous music videos. Just wondering, how have you been able to stay so active and productive during the pandemic?
Excuse me. Through sheer will, dedication, passion, and the help of my band. It's been really tough. COVID's been really tough on me, on everyone. Sorry, I actually just got over COVID like 3 days ago. So if you heard me coughing at the very end of that set, that's literally why. Excuse me, while I take another sip of water. Anyways, so in 2020, when I actually first met Simon, we were planning a tour. We were planning to do a tour up and down the East Coast, and we had all these dates lined up, and we had a really killer show that was going to anchor us. And then COVID hit, and I didn't know what to do. And so we had to pivot like very, very quickly, and I didn't really know how to pivot. I didn't know how to shift from, playing live into a digital platform. And so we focused a lot on social media. We did a bunch of covers. I started writing a lot more, and I kind of reorganized my 5-year plan. And so a lot of that was just writing more music, producing more music, making more music videos, doing everything that I could that was not playing live shows. And now that live shows are back, we're like, obviously you can tell we've been practicing like crazy, and we're just so excited to get back on the stage.
We're super excited to see you back on the stage. That's awesome, man. We don't see a lot of Asian American emo pop punk bands, but things are starting to change. In fact, we have 2 acts in tonight's show. Looking back, what inspired you to get into this genre? And did you ever feel any apprehensions or concerns when you were getting started because of the lack of diversity?
So first off, I'd like to sincerely shout out Cometa. They fucking killed their set, and we got to hook up at some point. Anyways, I've always been into pop punk. So I grew up in like an inner city school, predominantly Latino, Black, and I was maybe like one of 5 Asian Americans in that entire school. So I grew up in a very urban setting, listening to hip hop, pop music, and that's actually very common for Asian Americans. So for me, it was actually something that I kept under wraps, my kind of love and passion for pop punk. Like, I really grew up in the early 2000s pop punk, listening to My Chemical Romance and Paramore and Story of the Year and like all of those bands. And when I picked up the guitar, it kind of just
like opened the floodgates of me learning pop punk songs, because pop punk is just one of the most satisfying and fun things to play. But it was always kind of a hidden secret of mine, because it wasn't really cool to like that type of music at my school or even within my family. Because even within the Asian American community, a majority of the artists are, in the pop, R&B, and hip hop genre. So there was a lot of hesitation on my part when I decided to kind of just go through with this genre in terms of making music, but I just didn't know how to write anything else.
That's awesome. I love pop punk because it feels so cathartic. Out of curiosity, in the last few months, you've been like sharing new singles of your music. Could you tell us more about your newest releases and what we can expect in the months to come? Because we're all super excited to see you perform and
Absolutely. So we actually just dropped, I wouldn't say just dropped, but a couple of weeks ago, we just dropped another song called Phoning In, which actually landed on my first Spotify editorial playlist. It's a playlist featuring Asian American artists called Gold Beats. So that was a huge, a huge deal for me, a major milestone to finally get on a Spotify editorial playlist. And an Asian American musician one at that. So that's really cool. But we actually have another song coming out literally in 5 days. I haven't made the announcement yet just because I've been so sick and recovering from COVID, but we have another song coming out next Wednesday. It's called All Be Lost. It's a really tight pop punk easycore song. I'm shifting from the emo sound a little bit to the pop punk sound. And I'm going to be continuing to release singles throughout the rest of the year. We are going on tour this July. So look out for tour announcements. You can literally find us on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and on TikTok, but you might laugh at me if you find me on TikTok. I don't really post my music on TikTok because it doesn't seem like that's a community there. But we're going to be touring in July, so please look out for us. If we're going to hit up your city, and if we're not going to hit up your city, let me know what city you live in and what city you want us to come through and play at, and we'll see if we can get a show there.
Awesome. And is the new single that's coming out in 5 days, do we find it on Spotify or iTunes or everything?
Yes. So you can find me on Spotify just by searching Darrow, with Darro. I'm probably the only Asian guy on there that looks like that has that name. And on all of my social channels, it's just Darrow_C. So if you're not going to be able to find me on Spotify, you'll be able to find me on social media, and everything links together. So I would love to see you there.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Darrow. And I hope you have a speedy recovery from COVID. Thanks so much for joining us for Rock Against Hate. Next, we have Simon Tam coming on out. Simon Tam is one of the co-founders of the Slants Foundation and is probably best known as the founder and bassist of the iconic Asian American dance rock band, The Slants. He's the best-selling author of Slanted, How an Asian American Troublemaker Took on the Supreme Court, and his arts and activism work has been featured on The Daily Show with Trevor Noah, The New York Times, NPR, and lots more. Let's give a warm welcome for Simon Tam!
Hey everyone. It's such a pleasure to be here tonight. Thank you so much for watching Rock Against Hate. It's presented by the Slants Foundation, ASAM News, AsianAmericanMovies.com, and Stop AAPI Hate. As some of you might know, since the pandemic, there have been over 10,000 documented anti-Asian racist incidents, mostly against women and the elderly. These acts include shunning, slurs, and sometimes physical attacks as well. What's really frustrating about these tragedies is how often how seldom they're reported and documented. And what's worse is that many of the victims aren't believed, so there are almost no consequences for anti-Asian racism. But that's why we need events like this, and we need organizations like Stop AAPI Hate. Not only do we need to raise awareness about what is happening around our country, but we also need the resources to pass laws so that our communities are protected. So I hope you'll take a moment now to go to theslants.org/rockagainst-hate to learn how you can make a difference, whether it's donating to an organization like Stop AAPI Hate or taking bystander intervention training. Please know that we can't do this alone. We need your support to document these incidents. We need your resources. We need your time. We need your voice. And of course, we need artists like the ones that are performing here tonight so that we can change the culture. And please don't forget, you can actually interact with all of our guests tonight by leaving encouragement and posting questions and interactions directly on the Facebook or YouTube live stream. Now, our next guest is someone who's no stranger to doing the work required for curbing hate. Sahiba Kaur is the Media Relations Manager for the Sikh American Legal and Defense Education Fund, or SALDEF, an organization that works to empower Sikh Americans by building dialogue, deepening understanding, promoting civic and political participation, and upholding social justice and religious freedom for all Americans. Sahiba, thank you for joining us here tonight.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So even as we're holding space tonight for the movement to stop Asian hate, I think it's really important to point out how the impact is often very different for different people. And some communities are less visible than others, including oftentimes the Sikh community. So I would love to hear, how has your community been grappling with this wave of attacks that we've been experiencing in this country?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, thank you for having me here, and thank you for having SALDEF here at this program. This is a wonderful event, so thank you so much for having me here. First of all, I would like to say that April is Sikh American Awareness Month. So this month is also a month where we actually celebrated the first anniversary of the FedEx shooting that happened in Indianapolis. There were 8 that were killed, and of the 8, there were 4 that were Sikh Americans. So our community is hurting at this moment too, and we also are commemorating that important this very important anniversary. Also this month, we had 2 recent hate crimes committed against community members in the Richmond Hill area of Queens, New York. Within the same week, or like a week after, in the same area. And there were 2 attacks that happened against community members of our Sikh faith. Since we are a less represented population within governments, within political environments, within society, we actually advocate a lot differently than other organizations and other minority groups. That what we found that was really effective this time to bring awareness to the recent attacks that have happened is going on to social media and really having an on-the-ground presence and a social media presence. Because of our social media presence, we actually got local officials, state level officials, and federal level officials interested in what was happening to our community. And they also responded by addressing some of our concerns and listening to us and hearing us out. So we really advocate for a lot of social media presence and on-the-ground support, and just to educate in the way we can, and to really spread awareness about who Sikhs are. So our advocacy is a little bit different and a little bit more in-depth just because we have less of a population, but that doesn't mean that advocacy has to stop. We have to keep fighting for our rights and keep fighting for who we are in this country.
Amazing. And to hear that how social has been so beneficial in raising that awareness. And so for folks who want to get involved in helping this community out, check out SALDEF by going to their website, saldef.org. And I'm just kind of curious, what are some of the other things you're working on right now? Do you have legislative bills that are going up that you need voter support on? What are some things that that we can do to help support you?
Absolutely. So one of the biggest things that we're doing right now within the Queens community in New York is actually working with local organizers and local activists to really boost up their operations and help them in any way that they need. So resources can be providing toolkits, they can mean providing monetary help, and they can mean providing any type of training or anything around those lines to help these local leaders really amplify and uplift the local populations in the Queens and New York City area to really advocate for Sikh rights and offer services as much as we can. A lot of our populations are all of our people in our population they're undocumented, so we need a lot of immigration help and a lot of legal help. Currently, SALDEF is actually working with different organizations and different government officials to really pass different legislation so we can boost more of our voice in the political environment. So we're also working with local leaders right now to aid and help what's happening in Queens and in Richmond Hill. We have a really good initiative, though, that's going to be kicking off in the summer, and it's our Sikh Vote initiative. We also want to get Sikhs out to the polls for the midterms and really get our voice in local elections and state and federal level elections. So we have this initiative that's going to kick off in the end of summer, so we can do GOTV, get out the vote efforts. So definitely visit the SALDEF website and see all of our Sikh Vote initiatives when we do launch our campaign, and look at our social media for our Sikh Vote initiatives. But yeah.
Well, Hiba, thank you so much for joining us tonight and for all the work that you're doing. And remember, folks, go to saldef.org so you can keep it a watch of things that are happening with this community, and look for opportunities where you can lend your voice as well. And remember, if you would like to help support the efforts in fighting against hate, please go to theslants.org/rockagainst-hate, where you can donate money directly to stop AAPI hate and other organizations. And you can also learn about the resources available for fighting racism. Up next, we have a message from a special guest. You might know him for his roles as Jin So Kwon in Lost, Chin Ho Kelly in Hawaii Five-0, or even Gavin Park in Angel. Now, of course, I'm talking about Daniel Dae Kim.
Hey everybody, this is Daniel Dae Kim, and I just want to say thank you very much for supporting the second annual Rock Against Hate. Now, we all know how challenging these past few years have been for the Asian American community, so it's really important right now that we don't stop fighting for our community and each other. Though the media may have moved on, we know that the hate and violence toward us have not, so let's not let our movement fade into a moment. Keep supporting ourselves and each other. Keep speaking up and speaking out for our elderly and our most vulnerable. And even though you might not have the platform of folks like the Slants and some of the people featured here tonight, remember that you do have power. You have a circle of influence. You have friends. You have colleagues. You have relatives, all of whom could benefit from you speaking your mind and shining a spotlight on the importance of standing up for the community against hate. And that's true whether you're an Asian American or whether you're an ally, because it's going to take all of us to turn back hate and remember that we're all in this together. Thanks very much, everyone. Enjoy the show.
And now I'd like to introduce our next performer. Saint Lennox is the music project of Andrew Choi. In 2021, Saint Lennox was named an artist you need to know by Rolling Stone, who's profiled by Choi, noting that his sharply evocative and richly imaginative tales that form part of Choi's larger artistic project of expanding the definition of what gets to be considered an American narrative in the singer-songwriter tradition. AllMusic notes that Choi's creative pursuits have resulted in some of the most unique and unconventional thrilling pop music in the late 2010s. Saint Lennox is a regular on Independent Writer Best of lists, and in 2022 was featured on the cover of the Princeton Alumni Weekly. Please give it up for Saint Lennox.
Here we go. I was down at a work party last week to celebrate the end of the summer. Was the end of the evening then, and we were out at a bar up in Midtown. Jerry's feeling like chicken tonight, and he orders some wings from the waitress. And then Jerry and I traded shots at the bar. It was a typical shenanigans, but where's Arthur now? Yeah, legendary tales from the work week, a strong mix of heroics and gin. I was drunk in the evening then, and that's when Arthur walked through the door. He says, I was just at a shiva today for the death of a good friend of mine. A towering figure in my early life, he was an excellent specimen. Hey Arthur, don't look away, no need to hang your head in disarray. You know that it's just a change, yeah. I've heard that it's just a change. Hey Arthur, don't look dismayed, no need to hang your head in disarray. You know that it's just a change, yeah. I've heard that it's just a change. Yeah, I was at a funeral some years ago for the mom of a good friend of mine. I was there as a shoulder to cry on, but prone to get choked up. But see, she wore a bright yellow summer dress and a big sad smile on her face, so that she's in a much better place now, a good thing to recognize. Hey Arthur, don't look away, no need to hang your head in disarray. You know that it's just a change, yeah. I've heard that it's just a change. Hey Arthur, don't look dismayed, no need to hang your head in disarray. You know that it's just a change, yeah. I've heard that it's just a change. Yeah, I was at an industry conference up in the north of Virginia. I ran into a salesman's wife, a woman drunk on Chardonnay. She whispered to me drunkenly, she believes that the body's a vessel and the soul moves on to another dimension. I said, typical drunk talk. Hey Arthur, don't look away, no need to hang your head in disarray. You know that it's just a change, yeah. I've heard that it's just a change. Hey Arthur, don't look dismayed, no need to hang your head in disarray. You know that it's just a change, yeah. I've heard that it's just a change.
Wow, awesome. Thank you so much, Andrew. Now,
Thank you for
we
having
would
me.
love to take a moment here to learn more about your work. So we know you've released a considerable amount of music that is deeply personal to you, and it's rooted in your experiences, from 10 songs about memory and hope to 10 songs of worship and praise of our tumultuous times. In any case, your constant writing is often a reflection of not only the inner happenings, but also the experiences and how you interact with the world. How do you think the vast and dramatic events of the past few years will be affecting your work or writing now? And if you're writing about this moment, what kind of imprint do you hope to leave about this time for the future?
I mean, to be honest, I don't know how it's going to interact with my writing, because I try not to be too intentional about it, but I know that it is going to affect my writing a lot. In terms of like an imprint on sort of people afterwards, I hope that there are Asian American singer-songwriters, you know, of any genre that are able to be in the future considered, you know, I would say Central American storytellers. And I hope to be one of them. And I hope that there are other people that are able to also sort of be in that position as well. And yeah, that's all I have to say about that.
I think that would be. I think you're definitely working in that field. I mean, you're producing these incredible, rich and compelling stories and music that is clearly resonating with folks. Especially the zeitgeist of all the many periodicals about singer-songwriters. So I think you're definitely there. And in a lot of ways, you're also this kind of unconventional musician in some ways, from being a classically trained violinist from Juilliard to being this accomplished songwriter that is also practicing law in New York. Like, how have these combined experiences shaped and informed the other? Or do you kind of compartmentalize these identities and kind of keep them separated?
I mean, I think because I write about my life, and these are all things that are part of my life, I can't really ever compartmentalize it. I will professionally, of course, but in terms of the writing, it's really hard to compartmentalize things like that. I will say, I think what is nice is that I think it's important that there are more musicians that are able to have sort of common human experiences. And I think, I work as an attorney, and I think it's important that you have musicians that are working full-time jobs and doing stuff like that, and are able to sort of bring that experience to what they're writing, and put that out there. So, I mean, I think amongst the things, I really hope that sort of my being a working person is something that sort of has an effect on my writing, and continues to do so for the future.
Absolutely. It's kind of funny in that our band used to play a lot of law-related events, and I knew a lot of judges and attorneys who also formed. And in fact, there's a whole nonprofit that's kind of geared for creating kind of battle of the bands shows comprised of groups that are filled with attorneys and judges. So certainly, it's important. They're doing really great work as well. Now, we know tonight's event is both to celebrate the kind of progressive work of our community, as well as to kind of recognize the long road ahead in terms of the work that's needed to be done in addressing anti-Asian racism. Do you have any reflections to share in regards to the movement to stop Asian hate?
I think this idea of sort of collecting information about a lot of the events that have taken place, I think that's super important. I think also what's important is I think a lot of Americans need to understand that it's not just I see a lot of stuff online about sort of people blaming other groups for anti-Asian hate, and I think there's a really strong sense in which everybody needs to take some personal responsibility for that. And I guess on top of that, I think that people need to understand sort of how much it's a matter of psychology too. I mean, it's many other things as well, but I think people need to understand how much it's a matter of psychology, because in many ways, if you look at the media in the United States, we've had several decades of media that has been there to kind of like train and brainwash people into having sort of negative thoughts about Asian people. And if you look at TV shows, commercials, it's all there. And I think that really getting people to sort of untrain a lot of that, which takes a long time, I think that's something that's really important. And I think it's important to have Asian American musicians that are out there, because I think that's all a part of that process to kind of sort of help untrain people from this internalized hate that they have developed over the decades.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for sharing with us tonight. It's so great to have you here. And, I just got to say, I've had 10 songs of worship and praise for Our Tumultuous Times, like on repeat. It's been, I think, very timely in so many ways, and kind of speaking to this time, at least for me emotionally, and kind of pulling a lot of incredible themes of faith and humanity. So thank you so much for your work. We really, really appreciate you being a part of this event. And we'd love to have you play another song for us. And folks who are watching, be sure to follow St. Lennox on all platforms. Get his music, because it's absolutely incredible.
Thank you, Simon. walk to the high school, across the railroad tracks, the early morning hours upon you. Yeah, whether it was in rain or snow, that's how it is. Homeroom with the math teacher, the one you crushed on those daydreams in the library. But see, lately, he is an old man now. Over the years, and count the seconds with linoleum tiles, and pick up the day when the lunch lady smiles. But she doesn't know what's been going on. Yeah, I had a bad day, and you're not better than me, rich kid. And you're not better than me. And you're not better than me, rich kid. My locker in the East hallway, the sacred minutes to say a prayer before the test today. But Joe says that there is no God. That's how it is. Cool kids in the parking lot. I hear that Joe just got a beat up old Ford pickup truck. Yeah, she struts her stuff with a certain savoir-faire. And calm your nerves with cafeteria green, and drop in the margins with your pencil. And we don't believe in the government. Down with the man, and you're not better than me, rich kid. And you're not better than me. And you're not better than me, rich kid. Yeah, that's how I remember it. The public school system is burned into my memory still. Yeah, just over 15 years ago. Lately I heard that Joe's a construction man in Pennsylvania. I saw a picture of him fat and happy once, yeah. Old rumors and reflections past. And did you hear the one about the torrid affair that the English teacher had with the librarian? She never smiled with that sparkle again, yeah. Young love from a long time ago, crushed by the years. And you're not better than me, rich kid. And you're not better than me. And you're not better than me, rich kid. Thank you for having me. Stop it.
Thank you so much. All right, give it up for St. Lennox. And now I would like to pass the mic for your next host of the evening, Jiaoying Summers. Jiaoying is one of the hottest up-and-coming women in comedy. She's also one of the most popular comedians on TikTok with more than 1.1 million followers, 21.5 million likes, and over 300 million views. She's regular at the Laugh Factory and performs at the Comedy Store in Hollywood and the Hollywood Improv. And next week, her new comedy special will be on Peacock TV. Just look out for a comedy invasion. Please welcome Jiaoying Summers.
For the bad lighting, Right now, I'm in the green room in Brooklyn Comedy Club in New York. So live from New York, from the basement green room with cockroaches and spiders. But I love comedy, and just an honor to be here to host our Rock Against Hate, presented by the Slants Foundation, SM News, and AsianAmericanMovie.com. As a reminder, we are celebrating Asian American arts and activism while supporting Stop AAPI Hate tonight. If you'd like to learn more on how you can curb anti-Asian hate, please visit www.zslants.org/rock-against-hate. And if you would like to interact with any of our performers, just leave a comment on Facebook or YouTube live stream. Well, I'm very excited because we are going to welcome our next act, The Compliments, aka Greg and Alicia, as a singer-songwriter duo who had multiple original songs placed in the grand finale of the West Coast Songwriting Competition. They released their debut EP, Lend a Hand, in 2017, and followed that up with their coffee shop tour, which took them from Hawaii to Nashville and all over the West Coast. In 2020, they brought their performance online, where they continue to create unique musical experiences and reach a global audience that has fully funded their recent release, Songs from Hamilton and Songs for Your Wedding. Please give a warm welcome to The Compliments.
Hello.
Hello. Thank you so much. What an intro.
Guess we just hop in with the song here. All right, here we go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Do you ever wonder why? Why do we say our goodbyes? Do you ever wonder why? Got your message the other day. Now friends ask if I'm okay. If I knew that you felt the same, I would have asked you to stay. Thought that I could get by in this life, but I miss you more than I should say. Now I can't lie, I've been thinking about how we used to be. I can't sleep at night, my head's spinning around thoughts of you and me. Do you ever wonder why? Why do we say our goodbye?
Saw somebody who looked like you. Time froze a second or two. Are you out there with someone new, doing things we said we'd do? Thought that I could get by in this life, but I miss you more than I should say. No, I can't lie, I've been thinking about how we used to be. I can't sleep at night, my head's been around thoughts of you and me.
Do you ever wonder why? Why do we say our goodbyes? Do you ever wonder why? Why do we say our good? I can't lie, I've been thinking about how we used to be. I can't sleep at night, my head's spin around thoughts of you and me. Do you ever wonder why? Why do we say our goodbyes? Do you ever wonder why? Why do we say our goodbyes?
with us. So many of us for the past 2 years, you've been locked down and you're close to bring the world joy by doing all those virtual performance. What have you learned from this performance, especially as Asian American artists during this difficult time period?
Oh, there you go.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry, guys.
Hello, hi.
Hi.
No,
So how
that's a great
did you guys-
question.
Yeah, sorry, I have some technical difficulties
No
in the
worries.
basement.
We just thought it was
also
actually
the
really
green
dark.
room in Brooklyn.
No worries.
Oh my god. I just,
You in the dark green room.
oh yeah,
Hey.
it's in
It
the
was on
basement.
purpose.
It's not as now. It's Brooklyn. I have rats and spiders and cockroaches. They are right here with me. I'm so sorry about. Well, I'm just so moved by the beautiful song. Can you believe like you guys write your own songs and it's so amazing. So how do you guys came together as a team?
Yeah. So we met in LA where we were both living. Like I'm originally from LA, and Alicia was down there as well. And we met as part of a Dragon Boat team. Believe it or not, if some of y'all know what that is. And we discovered that as we were the only two members of this team that were interested or musically inclined, I should say. And then so we kind of sparked up a friendship from there, and have been making music pretty regularly for the past several years together. It's been a little bit of a journey. So I don't know. I just hopped in there. Do you want to?
Sorry.
Yeah. We, as Greg was saying, one of the things that happened was with the Dragon Boat community in Los Angeles. One of the things every year that happens is a big benefit show where we raise funds for the organization and the local community, and they needed performers. And I think we were the only two who were like,
The only two crazy enough to do it.
and that's how the compliments are worn.
Yeah. And then.
Oh. So during the lockdown, it was a very difficult time for us, and you guys were so amazing. You were able to bring your amazing performance virtually online for the world audience. And how was this time for you? This especially the Asian hate has risen during this lockdown.
Yeah, it was definitely we've definitely explored many different things online during the beginning of lockdown because we each live in different places. It was really hard to keep performing together because there's some sort of delay and technical challenges, but we were able to figure it out. So we've just sort of been making the digital rounds on many different platforms and definitely found an online community and support. And this is how we found a global audience, but also a global community to share the things that have happened during the pandemic, and also finding solace and friendships with other artists, other Asian American artists, and sort of sharing our stories. And some of the songs we haven't finished, but we've been writing some songs around those themes, and it's definitely helped us through that.
Yeah, it's definitely been an opportunity to echo what Alicia was saying, to kind of share our stories or share our experiences, and also learn from other people as they interact with us. And I think it's been a real blessing, just an opportunity to help educate and spread awareness about important causes like this. And we've been able to raise money through different fundraiser live stream related fundraisers for organizations that we care about, including the Asian Law Caucus and some other mental health related organizations with supporting Asian Americans. So it's just been an opportunity that we've been blessed to have.
That's so wonderful. The power of the Dragons United, from the boat to the stage and to the world audience virtually online. And you guys are so amazing. So I'm just so excited. I want to know, what is the next step for the conference?
Well, now that the world is sort of reopening a little bit more, we've definitely been really great. Very fortunate to have some great opportunities. We were planning a tour in 2020, and so we're hoping to pick that back up, not just in North America, but maybe also within some of the countries in Asia where I have friends. So
Yeah,
That's so exciting. We want another song from the compliments, please. You guys have to give us another song. We are so happy to have you.
Well, thank you.
Twist my arm.
Yeah. Cool. And just to add on to what Alicia was saying, we're hoping to, or we're working on our next EP. So keep an eye out for that. All right. This song that we're going to be doing is the title track off of our EP, or the first EP. It's called Lend a Hand. And we found that this is a good, I think, a vessel to kind of share that, no matter what you're going through, there are people out there who care about you. So, yeah.
She thinks she's not long for this world. She's packing her bags, saying her goodbyes. And after all the tears have bled from her body, maybe she'll find some rest there. These days, the only freedom she knows is when she sings, but this place can drown out melodies. She's been weighed down by being everything for everyone else. Where's her anchor now? She cannot see that she is alright. It's a long ride home. I know you've been feeling off, not yourself lately, like the world won't understand. And if you think that you're not strong enough for the fight you're facing, sister, I will lend my hand.
He's grown tired of watching our souls get lost to space age metal and glass. And after all the frustration boils from his body, maybe he'll find some rest there.
These days,
the only joy he knows is when he sings, but sometimes he can't raise his own voice. He's been consumed with looking ahead, now it's looking back, but the footsteps he hears are his own. He cannot see that he's alright. It's a long ride home. I know you've been feeling off, not yourself lately, like the world won't understand. If you think that you're not strong enough for the fight you're facing, brother, I will lend my hand.
and if you try, trust and close your eyes, you find that light will guide you back to you again. And if you try, trust and close your eyes, you find that light will guide you back to you again. We cannot see that we're alright. It's a long ride home. I know you've been feeling off, not yourself lately, like the world won't understand. And if you think that you're not strong enough for the fight you're facing, you should know that I'll lend my hand. And if you try, just to close your eyes, you'll find that light will guide you back to you again. And if you try, try,
Just
close your eyes.
your
Find
face.
that light will guide you back to you again. And if you try, just close your eyes, you find that light will guide you back to you again. And if you try, just close your eyes, you find that light will guide you back to you again.
Oh, I think
Okay,
she was next.
oops. Thank you so much for the beautiful music. I'm sorry, I'm the Asian with the technical difficulties. Sorry, guys. I'm a comedian. I don't have a brain. You guys are so amazing.
You're
I will
amazing.
cry. You bring me tear and joy to my heart. Thank you.
Thank you.
You bring laughter to our hearts.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Well, I'm very excited to welcome Travis Kim, better known as T-Cars, to the Rock Against the Hate stage. Travis is a professional magician who specializes in close-up sleeve of hand magic. His talent has been recognized by the world-famous Magic Castle in Hollywood, California, where he has performed more than 30 times. When he's not shuffling cards, he combines student development theory and perform art theory as high school math teacher, where he strives to help students find their own unique magic they have to offer to the world. Wow, Travis, how are you?
Hi, I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm just trying to hustle, make sure that I can have my face in the screen. I don't.
Oh, yeah, sure.
1 second.
Yeah, no
sorry about
worries.
this. You have magic. Please help me fix my phone. Okay. I'm just like so impressed. It's so hard, Travis. I love how you how you start in magic. I'm sure it's not like comedy. You know, there's a big difference between a stand-up comic, someone who likes to tell jokes at parties on stage. I mean, magic is so different. You can't just buy some magic thing from a store and perform. You have to be very special. You have to have have some secrets. As a professional comedian is not like a professional magician. I feel like a magician is just so mysterious and exciting. How does one get on that path to become a professional magician?
Yeah, so I started practicing magic because in my first year of college, I got into a head injury and I had a lot of time off when I had to take a break from school for a little bit. And I went to YouTube. I learned how to do a card trick. And when I went back to school, I showed all my friends this one card trick. And they were like, wow, that's really cool. And I was like, yeah. And I felt super cool. And then they eventually figured out how the trick was done. And they were like, don't you just do this? And this is the trick. And I was like, no. And then I had to learn more tricks. And so I just kept learning more and more card tricks. And then eventually people started asking me to perform at events. And yeah, the rest is history. I just kept doing it. And here's where I am now.
Wow, it's the passion lead you to become this amazing professional magician. So you performed at the world famous Magic Castle. It's so exclusive. Like, how exclusive is it? Is there any secrets you can share about it?
Yeah, I love the Magic Castle. It's a really fun place. It is a little I think tricky to get in, but all you really got to do is just get invited by a member. There's a lot of us, and I love that place. It's one of my favorite places to perform. If I want to watch other magicians too, I can go there. If I want to hang out with other magician friends, I can go there too. It's a really fun place. Shout out Magic Castle.
Wow, that's so great. I want to go there. Can I go?
Yeah, sure. Let's do it. Can I go to one of your shows?
Oh, yeah.
Can I go to one of your shows and you can go to one of mine? That would be so fun.
Yeah, come to my show at the Woman of Comedy at the Comedy Store for Netflix joke.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm gonna go to the Magic Castle. You can teach me how to play cards. I can.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, sounds like a plan.
I have to pay people to watch me how to do magic. To be like, no, you have to pay us. We don't want to see it. So, and it's amazing. You are a high school math teacher. It's amazing.
Yeah, the real miracles.
So, like, do you ever perform to your students?
When they earn it. Not really.
No.
I don't always do magic for my students, but sometimes I actually, when I find like a correlation between whatever we're studying, and I see like maybe how like somehow it relates to one of the magic routines I do, I'll show it to them, and that sparks kind of interest and curiosity. And sometimes on the rare occasion, it makes math cool. Like for example, one of the routines I'm showing later in a few minutes, I actually designed the props using the Pythagorean theorem, and so I showed them this routine after we were doing our geometry unit.
Oh my God! Hashtag T-Cars. Hashtag make math cool. This is so cool. Oh my God! The handsome Asian professional comedian, not comedian, magician, math teacher. Like you are gonna be like the most popular math teacher in the world. Everybody wants to learn math from you. Like if you can teach them with magic, everybody's gonna be good at math. Everybody goes to Harvard. Well,
thank you.
I'd love to see what you do, and let's see some of your close-up magic. Oh my God!
Yeah, let's do it. So I thought we could start off by playing a game. Jiaying, do you like games? Oh, and the compliments are gonna join us. Yeah.
Ooh, I love games.
And Simon. Oh my gosh, it's a party! Hi everyone! Oh, this is so exciting. Okay, well, here, yeah, Jiaying, maybe you could help me out with this first routine. This is a game that we're gonna play, okay? It's a really easy to understand game. All you gotta do is keep your eye on this little die, all right? Super easy, okay? So just keep your eye on the die, all right? Now we're gonna take the die, I'm gonna put it in my pocket, but I'm gonna try to sneak the die back in under the cup without you all noticing when. Does that make sense to everyone? Yeah? Jiaying, does that make sense? Simon, yeah? Compliments, yeah? Okay, perfect. Let's start from the beginning. So we're gonna take the die, we're going to put it into the cup. Now, maybe that caught you all off guard because you're looking at the cup. Now, if you look at the cup, that's totally fine, but that is when I do this with my hand. That doesn't do anything, but it looks kind of funny. And it's the moment where the die jumps from my hands back in into Simon's pocket. Simon, check your pocket right now. I'm just kidding. That'd be cool though. Simon, it did momentarily stop by your pocket and then it goes back in under the cup. Now, I think you're starting to get how this game works, so let's play for real. Die in the cup, shake for dramatic effect. Now, when I do that, that's the real secret you have to look out for. Because maybe I just put the die in my pocket, but Jiaying, maybe it's still in the cup. Where do you think the die is right now? Best guess, whatever you think.
In your left pocket.
In my pocket. In other words, not in the cup, yeah?
Yes.
Good. It's only in the cup when I want it to be in the cup. For example, right now. Now, let me try to explain how this works. Now, when I take this die and I put it in my pocket and I ask you, where is it? Here's the thing. At this point, you can't win. I'm a magician. I'm cheating. Because, Jiaying, if you say it's in the cup, I'm going to say, no, look, it's in the pocket. And if you say it's in the pocket, I'm going to say, no, look, it's in the cup. You can't win no matter what because I'm working with a big secret. Do you know what the secret is? Or does anyone know?
You got more than one.
Yeah, that's the secret. I'm working with 2 dice. That's the secret.
Oh my God.
The second die is a bit bigger than the other. Does that look like a pretty solid die to you all?
Yes, I like bigger.
It looks pretty solid, yeah? And it sounds pretty solid.
What?
Which is the most confusing thing because I have no idea how all those playing cards fit under there.
What? Oh, wow. What?
Thank you all. I hope you all enjoyed that.
Wow, that's just amazing. The secret of my good joke is just my miserable marriage, but you have real secrets.
I will be honest, it is a magical cup. Everything fits right back in. That big dice fits right back in. Even the deck of cards fits right... Wait, hang on. Wait. Hey, you guys want to see a card trick?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So in the spirit of being an educator, I thought I could try to teach you all how one of my favorite card tricks is done while I performed it. Simon, are you okay with that? Are you okay with me kind of teaching you one of my routines?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, wonderful. So Simon, all I'm going to ask you to do is just say stop whenever you like to pick a card. You could pick any of these cards. We got a deck of 52 cards. All right, and here, I'll give it a shuffle so you don't think I'm doing anything sneaky, even though I am. Now, shuffle, cut. Now, say stop whenever you like.
Stop.
Right there. Okay, would you like the card that I'm currently holding or the next card? What do you want?
The one on the table.
Oh, the one on the table. Oh, okay. Oh, man, Simon's trying to trick me. That's a scary category. It's okay. It doesn't matter. I'll get it either way. All right, you guys look at the card. I'm going to look at my virtual fireplace so I don't see what the card is, okay? All right. Ready? All right. All right. Does everyone see what the card is? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, we're
Okay,
good.
wonderful. So I'm gonna take the card. I'm gonna put it somewhere into the middle of the deck now, and give it a few shuffles and cuts. Now this is the second part of a successful card trick, and you just shuffle just to win the trust of the audience a little bit. Now, this is how the trick works. I'm gonna try to figure out what the card was, but I'm gonna use one of my favorite 4 of a kinds in the deck, the 4 jacks. Now each of these jacks will tell me a little bit more about what the card was. There's another one. Now, in a sec, I'm also going to take out a prediction of what I think the card was. Let me see. I'm going to go through and... Yeah, we'll go with that one right there. I'm not 100% sure, but we'll save it until the very end for dramatic effect. All right. We'll leave that there. All right, so this is how the trick works, Simon. Now, each of these jacks tells me a little bit more about what the card was. The first jack tells me whether or not your card was a red card or a black card. Do you remember if it was red or black? Yeah?
Yeah.
Let's take a look. It was a black card?
Yeah, it was a black card.
The next jack tells me if it was a club or a spade. Let's take a look. It was a spade.
Yes.
Third jack tells me if it was a number card or picture card. Let's see. Ooh, it was a number card. And the last jack tells me what number card it was. It was a 9. Now, let me just be honest. This is the easiest card trick ever, guys, because I don't have to do anything. Keep in mind, it's just the 4 jacks that do all the work for me. But people always say, but T-Cards, you knew what the card was. I saw the card in your hand. But that doesn't make any sense, because I just have the 4 jacks in my hand, and you all just saw them. Like the jack of clubs. And we have the jack of hearts there, and that's the jack of spades, yeah. And, of course, the jack of diamonds. Now, each of these jacks tells me a little bit more about what the card was, but they don't tell me what the card was exactly or where to find it. But Simon, that's why from the very beginning I put down this prediction. It's been there this entire time, and to the best of your intuition tells you, Simon, this card on the table should be the best guess.
Jack.
Here, I'll help you out. The 4 jacks is in my hand. There's just been one card this entire time. Your card, the 9 of spades.
Amazing.
Thank you so much.
Oh my god. And my brain.
I want to be mindful of time. Do we have time for one more or?
Yeah, I think you gotta do something for Greg and Aisha or the.
Yeah, sure. All right. Hey guys, how's it going? Fantastic job right before me. A tough act to follow, but I'm doing my best here. So this next one isn't so much a magic trick as much as it is a demonstration. Can you all see the 4 jacks spread out throughout the deck, separated by other cards? Greg, Alicia, can you see that? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Now, I'm about to execute various different types of shuffles. This first one is called an overhand shuffle. It's called an overhand shuffle because the hands go over each other, and if I do it correctly every time, one card falls out of the deck, and it's always going to be the 4 spades every time. We could do a 3-packet cut. That one's a little spicier. We could do a table riffle shuffle, face down on the table so you can't see the faces like they do in Vegas. You could cut the cards as well just to make sure everything's completely fair. You could also do this. It doesn't really shuffle the cards, but it looks kind of cool, in my opinion.
What?
Cool. Oh, you guys like that? Here, I'll do it again. There you go. All right, now I'm going to try to find all 4 of those jacks as quickly as I can. But I'll do the first one in slow motion so you can see how I do it. I'm just gonna wind up my hand all the way back here, and then there's the first jack, the jack of clubs. We'll find the next one at normal speed. There's the jack of hearts. Now, Alicia, maybe that was too fast, even in slow motion, so we'll do that one more time, just for you. Here, we'll do another 3-packet cut. We'll do another riffle shuffle. This time I'll do this one in the air, just to flex a little bit. All the cards in my right hand, none of the cards in my left, but all the cards in my left, and 2 cards decided to stay in the right. And they're back. We have the jack of clubs and the jack of hearts. So we have 2 jacks down, 2 jacks to go. We found the jack of clubs and we found the jack of hearts. And that leaves the jack of spades and diamonds next. Greg, would you like to find the jack of spades or diamonds next? Up to you.
Let's do diamonds.
Diamonds. Say stop whenever you like, Greg, whenever you like.
Stop.
Right there. You stopped at a card, not just any card. But that would have been really cool if it was a jack of diamonds. But it's okay. It helps to be a magician. I could take the ace of diamonds and I could shake it and it slowly starts to look like your card. the Jack of Diamonds.
What?
Now, the last Jack is always the trickiest one because it's always going to be exactly in the middle of those first two Jacks we already found. In between the clubs and the hearts, we have one last Jack, the Jack of Spades, and that's how I like to find all 4 Jacks in the deck. Thank you all so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Simon, thank you so much for having me. Stop AAP I Hate, and Oma Appa Sarange. Thank you all so much. I really appreciate it.
Wow, that is amazing. Follow T Cards on
Thank you.
Instagram everywhere. Thank you so much. We are so happy to have you. Thank you, Travis. Well, now I will turn it over to Randall Yip of ASM News and Cynthia Choi of Stop AAP I Hate to talk about why we are here, gathered here tonight. Woo! Cynthia.
So thanks for joining us, Cynthia.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me.
So I'm with Cynthia Cha, co-executive director of Chinese for Affirmative Actions, one of the 3 founding partners of Stop AAP I Hate. And my name is Randall Yip. I'm the founder and editor of ASAM News and one of the partners in Rock Against Hate #2. So it's been 2 years. When you began this journey 2 years ago, did you really ever anticipate that there would be so many reports of anti-Asian hate?
You know, that's such a powerful question given where we are. Of course, I was aware of the history of anti-Asian racism, including violence and discrimination. But I certainly had no idea when we started Stop AAP I Hate with our founders that we would receive so many incidents of everyday racism that our communities were facing. So in one sense, I wasn't shocked, but it was still stunning to see all of the reports of individuals, including of their loved ones, and what they were encountering.
How difficult has it been for you? I mean, obviously you immerse yourself in work, but it's got to be draining. I mean, mentally.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. It has taken a mental health toll on me personally, and of course, it's traumatizing to see our community in so much pain, so much suffering, and of course, the ongoing fears of being attacked, going about our daily business, and the incidence of violence, particularly against women, has been especially hard as well. So it's been difficult.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think women have been targeted so much?
Well, what we do know historically, and this is not just Asian women, but all women have been vulnerable to harassment, to violence. And as a society, not just in the United States, but globally, this is something that we have yet to seriously tackle. And so it isn't surprising to me that we have higher number of incident reports coming from women. But of course, we also know that men tend to underreport. So I think that this is a serious issue that, again, we as a society has yet to take on very seriously.
What are the latest numbers right now?
Well, we just released our latest numbers. So from the time we started March 2020 through the end of 2021, we've received close to 11,000 incidents. And what we have maintained is we know that this is an undercount. And we are seeing some consistent patterns that largely are not hate crimes, but they're just as harrowing and traumatic. We also have seen that women, as I said, have reported at greater rates, and that many of the incidents, a majority of the incidents, are taking place in spaces that are open to the public. So on sidewalks and streets, public transit, and in private businesses. So this is something that we can take on, and it's something that we're committed to doing at Stop AAP I Hate.
So if I'm watching this, or I've been watching all the news reports the last 2 years, you can't help but have a feeling of helplessness. But there's no such thing as helplessness. People can do something. So what do you recommend that people do for themselves and for the community?
Well, of course, it's really natural to feel disillusioned, to feel a sense of hopelessness. But there is so much to be inspired by. Of course, our community is so strong. We've taken collective action, and we're part of a movement that I think continues to grow. So there are things that we can do. First, we have to commit to being informed and being anti-racist in every way possible. And I think that requires us to be engaged, to speak out against hate, not just against our community, but all forms, because hate is rising against all groups, vulnerable groups, trans, Black, Muslims. So this is something that we need to all take part in. And we want people to get involved in ways that are meaningful to you. And you start within, start with your families, start with your community. And then finally, we can't give up hope. Our history as a community has always believed in the promise of our multiracial democracy, and we've contributed towards that. And that's what inspires me every day to do this work, and we need to continue to fight.
Speaking of multiracial democracy, you can't help but notice some of the comments within our own communities directed toward other people of color, blaming them for this anti-Asian violence. What is your response to that?
Well, I want to just point out that as a community that's fighting anti-Asian racism, we have to reject any effort to blame, to scapegoat any group. And this is something that we have to be vigilant about. What is happening right now is division being sowed between and amongst our communities. And so when I start out by saying we have to commit to being anti-racist, that means against all forms of structural racism against any group. So we as a community, we have to lock arms with other communities that are being disproportionately affected right now. This racial reckoning includes us, but it also means our commitment to addressing bias within our own communities.
And Chinese for Affirmative Action and Stop AAPI Hate have pushed a legislative package in the California legislature. Can you talk about that and what you guys are hoping to attain?
Right. So I think what's really important is that we need to have a whole of society approach. So obviously we need to involve our government, working with community-based organizations to propose policy solutions. And so this is what we've been committed to. The fact that incidents are occurring in spaces that are open to the public, we've taken on bills that really address transit safety, because of course we have incidents of harassment on public transit that affects women and other vulnerable populations, as well as in businesses. And then street harassment. I mean, this is something as a society, again, that we have essentially told women and vulnerable populations that they need to address themselves. And so we are taking a public health approach through education, through data, and this is really important that community groups work with government agencies to address harm wherever it happens. And this is the work that we're committed to as well.
I understand there's a lot of people also pushing for more Asian American studies across the country, and there's been a growing movement to mandate Asian American studies in different states. How do you feel about that?
Well, that is really inspiring. I am an ethnic studies major myself, and I know the importance of seeing ourselves represented in history, not just the injustices, but also in ways in which we have fought for our rights and have made this country that much stronger. And so, as my good friend Helen Zia said, we've been MIH, we've been missing in history. And what we do know is that when we are represented, when our contributions, as well as our struggle for the expansion of civil rights, for all people, which is also embedded in CAA's history, that this is really important in terms of building understanding and empathy. And it's part of our history, and that's incredibly important, especially now.
I understand you're in Washington, D.C. tonight to accept an award from the Freedom Forum. Can you talk about that? And can you talk about your partners who will be there with you tonight?
Yeah, we're really proud of the fact that Stop API Hate is being recognized by the Freedom Forum, which is an important organization in terms of, defending the fundamental freedoms of this country. And so to be recognized by peers, to be recognized in this way is really humbling. And we're really there to also celebrate the thousands of community members who reported on our site and have been used as a collective voice to advocate for meaningful change. So I'm here with Manju Kulkarni and Russell Jung. And again, we really are humbled by this recognition, and we lift up the voices of our community.
Well, congratulations on behalf of the entire community. We thank you for all the work that Stop API Hate has done to draw attention to this problem and really put a national spotlight on this. I've seen so many articles quoting the work you guys have doing. So thank you so much. Good luck to you.
Well, I just want to thank you, Randall, and thank you so much for all your efforts in terms of raising awareness and also for this amazing event. And I want to just thank the artists and everyone who put their heart and soul to tonight. And from the bottom of our hearts, thank you.
All right, well, I'm going to toss it back to those artists so we can hear more music. Take it away.
Thank you, Randall, and thank you, Cynthia. Hi, everyone. Thank you again for watching Rock Against Hate. Once again, my name is Simon Tam. I'm one of the founders of the Slants Foundation, a nonprofit that is dedicated to funding and mentoring artists of color, especially those seeking to change the culture. Tonight's event is a celebration of arts and activism in our community. And it's the kind of thing that our nonprofit is passionate about, bringing together change makers. Remember, if you would like to learn more on how you can curb anti-Asian hate, just visit theslants.org/rockagainst-hate. And if you would like to learn more about our foundation, just go to theslants.org. Finally, if you would like to interact with any of our performers, just leave a comment on the Facebook or the YouTube live stream. And now I would like to welcome our next performer. Other Tones is the solo project of Nashville-based musician Aman Nadeem. In addition to lending her powerhouse pop rock vocals and songwriting to Other Tones, Aman is a producer, arranger, and multi-instrumentalist. Other Tones explores the blurring of many rock subgenres, such as pop punk and emo rock. The project also utilizes Aman's unique intersection of marginalized backgrounds, which provides a rare perspective of lyrical content in a white male-dominated scene. Aman's goal is to help young people of all identities feel seen and heard, and she aims to provide a safe haven and sense of belonging for those who feel othered in their daily lives. Please welcome Other Tones to Rock Against Hate.
Hi, Simon. Thank you so much for having me. It's such an honor to be here.
It's so good to see you.
Yeah, it's good to see you too.
Well, we look forward to hearing your music.
Thanks. I'm excited too. Let me just go ahead and knock that reverb on for some effect here. Okay, 1 sec here. Okay. All right, so I'm going to play a couple of songs today. The first one, actually both of them are unreleased. I do have an EP that's out on Spotify under Other Tones, but both songs are really just kind of more muted and down. So I wanted to just kind of do some chill vibes tonight. So here is a song called The Lines. Slow down, pump the brakes.
Wow, awesome! Thank you so much. It's so good to see you again. Like you've done one of our events in the past, and certainly we actually met a number of years. And so I'm just kind of been thinking how it's been a few years, and over those years, the world has certainly experienced a lot of ups and a lot of downs. How have recent events, especially that rise in anti-Asian racism, affected you personally?
I mean, I feel like I'm echoing what some other people have said earlier tonight. It's like, it's really heartbreaking. It's devastating to see people within your own community and others in adjacent communities. Like, because I think as South Asians, we go through our own thing. East Asians, Pacific Islanders, we all face different kinds of discrimination, and it's all really just a shame. And especially, of course, as we've talked about a bit, the rise in violence since the pandemic and kind of the blame for the virus. It's just something that is, I don't know, it's really, really sad. And, like for me personally, like I grew up post 9/11, and I've kind of seen South Asians, Middle Eastern people, anyone of a Muslim background generally, like we've kind of all been lumped together and have had to kind of figure out things on our own. But what's been actually kind of interesting is that the last couple of years, as people have been talking about things in a more mainstream way, I've actually seen more people of different, like allies from different communities talking about the discrimination that we've faced post 9/11 in a way that I never thought we would. Like even just like the Israel-Palestine conflict or things in Kashmir, like people are actually talking about it. So I hope that kind of conversation continues. And that we can all continue to support each other, whether it's people within the larger Asian community or allies of people of different racial backgrounds.
Yeah, and it's it's really interesting to me because like for a minute there, I also lived in the South, and one of the things that we're really passionate about at our nonprofit is like talking about underrepresented communities, and of course. We look at the, Asian American movement, but I oftentimes feel like Asian Americans in the South and the Midwest, and even certain ethnic identities under that broad umbrella of like AAPI, sometimes get less visibility than others. Like we see so much attention going towards major metropolitan areas, particularly on the coast, but fewer resources, fewer attention gets directed to those of us who are in the South and in the Midwest. So I'm kind of curious, like, how has living in the South shaped your work? What have been some of the highlights, or what have been some of the challenges?
I mean, it's definitely true. Like, there's what's sad is like I think a lot of times people tend to write off specifically the South. I mean, the Midwest for sure has its own issues with not being represented as much, but the South kind of gets written off as a monolith and as like basically all these people are almost like a lost cause is the way that it feels, and kind of like they don't really matter because everyone is conservative there and we don't like them. Like people from the coast, that's kind of how it feels, is that they're kind of thinking of us that way. So I think it's really forced me, like having gone to a predominantly white institution for college as well, like it really forced me to find the diamonds in the rough and find a few people I could really trust and continue to, I don't know, help me survive in the South. So I don't know. I mean, like it's tough to be one of few, but in a different way, it also kind of being the underdog with a few other people like that I trust is kind of also like its own unique kind of experience and blessing. Like you kind of are, in a sad way, more grateful for the people that you find because there's not as many of us and we kind of all have to stick together. So I think I feel like it's both a blessing and a curse.
Oh yeah, I mean, I feel you. And, thankfully there's some really amazing organizations down in Nashville, like TIRC, the Tennessee Immigrant and Refugee and Rights Coalition, and other groups who are advocating and bringing some additional visibility for folks living in the area. And it's so cool to see that, I think we're on a moment of change. We're seeing greater visibility for those communities that oftentimes don't get the attention and the support that they need. And hopefully through additional artists like yourself and organizations like Turk and others out there, that we can continue to raise the awareness of our own communities that oftentimes get overlooked, particularly in those rural communities. So what's next for you? What do you got next for the Other Tones?
So now, I mean, since I do have an EP out, I've been working on new music for years. Like a lot of the stuff on the EP is older songs. I think that ends up being the case for a lot of people's first releases, is it's kind of all these things that you've been working on forever, and it takes a long time to put the first product out, and then you kind of have this compilation of like the younger you, but you're already kind of not that person anymore. And so like I have so much material that's been stacking up, and I'm trying to contact producers and see who I can work with. And I just have so many people I look up to, it's hard to choose. I'm trying to see if I can even split up different songs with different producers based on what their strengths are. So I have some songs that are more like pop punk, and I might work with a really punk influenced producer for that, and then more pop forward stuff, and I might choose a pop producer for that. But I don't know. It's right now I'm just taking it step by step to get back into music. For a while it was really hard with the pandemic, and now I'm finally feeling like myself again. So baby steps. But yeah, I guess I'll go ahead and do the next tune, unless were you going to say something? Sorry, Simon.
Oh no, it's kind of interesting. I think it's fascinating how art can oftentimes be a time capsule, right? Like it reflects what we're feeling in the moment as we're creating something. My partner Faina is a painter, and she oftentimes captures, like you can see almost like different eras of her paintings and kind of see where she is based on like the kind of collection of art. There's like a certain look to them. And I think with many musicians, myself included, like you can kind of look back and almost hear like that was the era where you're feeling this kind of vibe, or you're leaning into certain, instruments or whatever. So it's fantastic. I can't wait to hear whatever release you have coming up, whether it's working with one or many producers. But for now, we would be honored if you would share another song with us tonight.
Thank you so much. I'm excited. This next song, let me get my verb back on. Okay, I'm a singer again now that I have reverb. This song is called Worth It. It's another unreleased song. Let me know what you think of these tunes, because I'm just trying them out, trying to see what people feel, and hopefully it resonates with people.
Awesome. Thank you again for being with us tonight.
Thank you so much, Simon. I appreciate it.
Up next, we have a special message from multiple Emmy Award-winning co-anchor of ABC News Nightline, Juju Chang.
Hi everybody, it's Juju Chang with ABC News Nightline. I'm here in New York City wishing you all the best of times in the Rock Against Hate concert. What better way to come together and celebrate our community and fight AAPI hate? I know that all the proceeds are going to stop AAPI hate. It's such a crucial time because these attacks are ongoing. And as a journalist, I know how important it is to keep awareness up, to keep these stories in the atmosphere and get everyone united against hate. Enjoy the concert.
Our next performer is Kishan Tran. Kishan writes and performs spoken word poetry and creates audio-visual content. As a third-year student at UC San Diego studying interdisciplinary computing, music, and technology, he's made YouTube's videos on his college experience, poetry about his first-generation Asian-American college experiences, and live performances for UCSD's Department of Music, in addition to TEDx and the Alumni Association. His work springs from his lived experiences and ambition to contribute to the living legacy of the Asian American community in the San Gabriel Valley. In 2020, his entrepreneurial spirit helped him raise $1,500 for the East West Players, a LA-based Asian American theater. In 2022, his artistic journey is continuing through spoken word poetry, including tonight here at Rock Against Hate. Please give a warm welcome to Kishan.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kishan Tran. Thank you so much for the introduction, Simon. And tonight I wanted to tell two stories. First, the story of my parents' generation, and then the story of my generation. Here we go. I escaped by boat, wrote down everything I saw. I remember the salt. We were drenched in it. Through midday, through darkness, a crowd of people paranoid of Thai pirates, American pilots, only a compass to guide us. I was old enough to remember, young enough to lose my innocence to napalm, carpet bombs, inflation in the fall of Saigon, the Viet Cong. Everyone fighting to find their freedom. I remember waves crashing down on our cargo boat endlessly. Will history remember it as Liberation Day or the day we lost our country? April 30. 1975, just a month passed when my family fled from the night, 100 kilometers east to international waters, 60 miles of hiding in silence, all our possessions in piles. We were pouring fuel so close to the fire. We were a stain of ink on an ocean, hoping not to get washed away. I remember thinking, I'm so tired. Everyone is tired, Ma. What should we do? Ma said, we had to conspire a gamble for your brother, for your future. I remember the 7th night on the boat. Everything was rocking. My stomach was sick. My spirit left my body to start dying, but my mom's cold, frail hands guided my eyes to Orion. His belt glistened with brilliance, never once wavered through the night. My soul needed something stable, so the stars poured themselves into my eyes. And the next morning, I wake. Terengganu on the Malaysian coast was still 700 kilometers away. We each said our prayers as we stared the endless sea. Amen. Namo Aida Fa. Lord, help us find peace. We were 23, bonded not by our trials, but by our beliefs for freedom. Beneath our prayers and appearances, we were all just human, and our suffering ripped open a scar to let in life's lessons. And we mend. And we mend, and we mend, but we can never forget the tears across our skin, the terrors of our country, the tears of our kin. So I devoted myself to stoking the flame of the next generation by telling them the story of a second chance, about the day we finally reached solid land. No more rocking or tossing. Salt from the ocean was washed away by salt from our tears, the first shred of hope after inches from death in the trenches of fear. The sun gave us new breath. On an island of sorrow and celebration, at night we lit our lanterns without the thought of getting caught by dangers. We gathered around fires, and children played along the bay carefree, trying to create a world in their mind less marred by the war, by the blood of their ancestors and their country's fate. And me, I sat down, poring over my scraps of paper with my pen almost vacant of ink. I had to choose what to keep, to choose what to make last longer than my fleeting memory. You see, in history, the pen is unparalleled because it proliferates stories for centuries longer than speech. And it was my responsibility to tell and retell our story from bloodied coast to promising, glorious opportunity. And even now, with so many years ahead of me, so many memories behind me, I still remember my odyssey across an ocean so boundless, so infinite, connecting me to my infinite ancestry. I came here by boat, wrote down everything I saw. I remember the salt. I'm still drenched in it, through midday, through darkness. Thank you so much for this opportunity to perform.
Thank you so much for sharing your poetry with us here tonight. I just want to take a moment to kind of learn more about your own story. You write poetry that uses personal experiences to connect with other people. Given the moment that we're in right now, with this rising tide of hatred and attacks, with the uncertainty of what's happening in Russia and Ukraine, with all that is happening in our world, what kind of message do you want to impart on those watching Rock Against Hate tonight?
Thank you, Simon. Yes, I agree. We're all facing so many different tragedies and so many different things that could be grabbing at our attention. One message I want to impart upon everyone is that if you take time to curate how you see all of these issues, all of these events, all of these phenomena, and you really take your time to form your own words and form your own thoughts and have conversations around this, your voice actually matters. And the perspective that you can share from your unique perspective, because mine is different from yours, Simon, mine is different from everyone else's. I grew up in SoCal. And so even with that, being Asian American in this geographical space, I hold a different story and I hold a different lineage from where I come from. So the message, I just want to share that if you take time to curate what you're thinking and also share that mindfully, share that intentionally with the goal of healing yourself and also bringing a good kind of constructive criticism and also conversation towards all the people that you meet, your message and your voice will be heard.
Yeah, I oftentimes like to say that art kind of serves as a piece of glass for our society, right? Like it's both this mirror, an opportunity for folks to see themselves through it, but it can also serve as a window that they can see, look at it and look at the possibility of who we can become if we're enduring together. And so, man, I gotta say, like, poetry has a special place in my heart because I think there's something really raw about it and its form of expression. And here at the Slants Foundation, we truly believe that expression is a human right, and it's such a powerful tool. Like, it's like, so it's super cool. I know you're working on a couple of things, including putting poetry to music. You also have like a super active YouTube channel. Like I was watching some of those things the other day. You share everything from like kind of a day in the life at UC San Diego, which is my old town, like San Diego. And I got a cousin who's a professor at UCSD. So I used to play on that campus growing up. You got like, I think there's a video on like how martial arts is changing your life that you got up there. So I'm kind of curious, like, what prompted you to share all these different sides of yourself on that platform? And what have you learned through this process of sharing all this content?
Okay, thank you. Such a great question. One of my favorite parts about creating videos or creating finished products, and especially with my whole body in it, with my voice in it, with my face in it, is that it serves as such a great milestone. And at the beginning of my college experience, because I'm a first-generation college student, because I'm Asian American, I'm coming from a different background than maybe most people. What I wanted to do was I wanted to create milestones for my journey. And so I decided that creating videos, whether it was going to be videos of me performing music or just like Simon mentioned, a day in my life at UCSD, I wanted each of these moments and each of these memories to be really special. So I taught myself how to make videos, I taught myself how to record audio, and I taught myself how to write a story as well. And my favorite thing that I've learned throughout all of this is that the potential that anyone has to create, it really starts with just just themselves having the self-confidence. I mean, I didn't have the self-confidence to begin with, actually. Let me revise that. It starts with having the bravery to be like, okay, I want to create this, and it's going to be a growing process, and a process that is going to be continual. So one of my favorite things about making videos is I never feel like there's a finished product. Yes, there is a finished like YouTube video or a finished video that I can share online, but really when the product in the process is all about growing myself, which is the way I've framed it for myself, there's really just a limitless kind of importance and limitless importance, and also a limitless opportunity to create, because every expression is an expression of growth.
Pretty cool. It kind of reminds me of our band. When we were touring, we used to capture the experiences by creating these kind of tour blogs, and I love it.
Great.
It's like it's also an opportunity for you to like kind of rewatch and re-experience and see where you are at the time. So I think it's really great. And so for folks who want to check out your work, we can show your YouTube link and down below here. Folks, check this out. There's a lot of really great content there, in addition to some really, really powerful poetry. And what a fantastic way to kind of close out Rock Against Hate. Would you be willing to close this out with one final poem?
Yes, sir. This next poem I have is dedicated to anyone who dares to dream. I wrote this maybe a year and a half ago, and it's been quite a journey since then. And this is the story, I believe, of the generation that I'm currently in, and the generation of people who are daring to create online, daring to share their story, and everyone who has shared their story tonight. So here we go. If my dream was a choice, I would choose for it to be related to my voice, to be related to the noise that comes from my heart, out my chest, the notes that form in the air when I sing up my best, the warm breath that flows when I lay down a spoken rhyme or sing an octave. I can already feel the verbal vocalizations. The verdict is against all violations. I broke through all my limitations, the notes, the passages, the self-critic evaluations. I choose to see the best in others and in me, and that belief shines through every side of me. I radiate good vibes on my unique frequency, and it's personal as my fingerprint or SSID. It's my inimitable pull and gravity. And we all have it inside of ourselves to attract our highest ideals, even when we are dancing with our insecurities. I used to have self-esteem issues as a short guy, but now I realize that giants are made up in our minds. So if I keep growing and showing up, it's only a matter of time until I tower over my fears and leave them all behind. When I see myself in the mirror, I'll see myself clearer, the enthusiastic believer, the optimistic fever of which I'm a receiver and transmitter in every single form I'm given and loving. In a cycle of brand new and newly torn, I fit into my body like a well-worn hoodie. I sing a melody like 88 keys. I generate energy like a laser light beam, and I manifest the magic of kindness and giving. And isn't it crazy? Isn't it crazy that yesterday I was hating myself, but today I'm seeing the better half of me in the mirror? But the good in you and me is more than just half. It's more like exponential on an infinite graph. The love is so overflowing, it popped the cap. We celebrate like champagne bubbly on a victory lap. And me, I am just swimming in it. Swimming in that self-respect. Swimming in that present moment. Swimming in the I don't know yet. I'm diving through the waters with my O2 tank. Oxygen, optimism, and a whole lot of thanks from my mom, from my dad, and everyone in my corner along the way. I'm looking at my reflection with me, myself, and I to thank. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Kishan Tran. And thank you, everyone, for watching and supporting the work of Stop AAPI Hate. Hey, just as a final reminder, you can visit theslants.org/rockagainst-hate to take action in curbing anti-Asian racism. From reporting incidents of hate to donating to supporting the mission of this great nonprofit organization, please consider using your voice to help the movement. Thank you again, and happy Asian Pacific American Heritage Month. We'll see you all next year.